Hi, my name is Gabby, and today I will be recreating the plot of the film Watermelon Woman. Watermelon Woman was a film made in 1996 by Cheryl that centers on her being a black queer woman filmmaker struggling to find her representation within film history. As being a black woman filmmaker myself, I too am interested in seeing more of myself within history, as oftentimes, and especially over the course of old Hollywood, black women were kind of pushed aside and weren't centered within the stories. They would be more so seen as the help or a sidekick to their white counterparts. A big portion of the film, and one of my favorite aspects of it, is Cheryl's journey in finding resources that even relate to black queer women. She works at a video store. Iconic, I know. She goes to several libraries, and she even finds first person testimony in the women who were in relationships with the Watermelon Woman favorite troops. While all of these things add to the charm and nostalgia of the film, as it is so lovely 90s, I thought that it would be interesting to use modern technology, aka the internet, to see how much things have changed over the course of the past 25 years. Cheryl had to create a fictional story within Faye because there was such little information on black and queer women in film. So hopefully I will have better luck. First things first, let's look up black lesbian women in early 1900s film. Based on this website that I found, I was able to find 8 women that ranged from the early 1900s to more contemporary actors and filmmakers. I'm going to choose 4 to talk about today because they focus more within the span of historical figures that Cheryl might have looked into from the film. But if you are interested in seeing more, I'll be putting the links to my resources in the description box below. With that being said, let's talk about black queer women in film history.
First up, we have Ethel Waters. Born in 1896, Ethel was known for being a trailblazer as she was the first black person to star in her own TV show, the first black woman to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award, the second black person to be nominated for an Academy Award, and the first black woman to integrate Broadway from the musical As Thousands Cheer. She began her career singing for a vaudeville troupe in Baltimore, Maryland, where she became an overnight sensation for being the first woman to sing St. Louis blues. Her career on Broadway gave her the reputation she needed to also launch her film career. She would then become a staunch advocate for actors' rights within her positions in the Executive Council of Actors' Equity and the Negro Actors Guild of America. Though she never explicitly came out as bisexual, she lived with her girlfriend Ethel Williams during the 1920s. Next, we have Josephine Baker. Born in 1906, Josephine had her parents to look up to in the entertainment industry. Unfortunately, their careers never took off, and Josephine had to rely on odd jobs and street performances to help make ends meet. This caught the attention of a black theater troupe that she joined at 15, at which time she also married and got her iconic name Baker. She became popular in vaudeville and eventually moved to New York, where she joined the performance boom of the Harlem Renaissance. That allowed her to take her career to France, where she would become one of the biggest black performers in French history, as well as launch her film career in Europe. During World War II, she utilized those same performances to pass on secrets to the French military against the Nazi regime. After a couple of years, she would return to America to find herself again unwelcome because of the laws of Jim Crow, and as a result, she would renounce her American citizenship and return to Paris. Finally, we have Carmen Mercedes McRae. Born in 1920, Carmen is known extensively for her jazz singing. She was inspired heavily by Billie Holiday, who was 8 years older. After learning classical piano and working with some of the jazz musicians of the time, like Benny Carter, Kenny Clarke, and Mercer Ellington, she was able to make a recording debut, and from there she toured all over, particularly popular in Japan. Over the course of her career, she sang with Louis Armstrong, Dave Brubeck, and others, as well as making tribute albums to legends like Nat King Cole. She was nominated for multiple Grammy Awards and appeared in movies and television. She believed sexuality was fluid and was often seen with female companions, but never explicitly labeled herself.
I appreciate having found so much information on these women. because not only does it make my job easier, but it's a far cry from having to create your own narrative, just to see your self represented, really, or just to see information that represents you. But I guess that just goes to show how much people like Cheryl Dunye have paved the way for there to be more inclusive stories of Black and queer people. And honestly, I would be very disappointed if there wasn't any resources to be found, just because Pride Month has been a thing since 1999. So, but overall, a happy ending. And if you haven't already seen The Watermelon Woman, I highly recommend it.